Good morning and welcome to Great Uncle John's video log, Mueller Report Special Edition, pages 80 to 120. I'm speaking a bit quietly this morning because everyone in the house is still asleep, and I'm sure they don't want to hear me yelling about the Mueller report at 7 o'clock in the morning. So we're getting through this thing, 120 pages. I listened to it as I did yard work today, which was kind of nice, something to listen to in the background as I was mowing the grass. Today we have George Papadopoulos, and George, I think, comes out looking a little bit like a schmuck in all of this. He's this guy, smart, well-educated, ambitious. He's trying to get on the Trump campaign because it's his job. He works for Ben Carson for a while. And then when that campaign ends, he transitions over to Trump's campaign. And Papadopoulos seems to be a networker who connects with people to further his career, which is fine. That's what successful people do. And he meets this academic dude in London who tells him he has Russian connections and introduces him to a woman who has Russian connections and says she can introduce him to the Russian ambassador in London. And Papadopoulos sells himself as sort of a higher level Trump campaign operative than perhaps he is. So what we get is people bullshitting each other. This academic and his Russian connection sort of bullshitting how much connection they have to perhaps Putin and the Russian inner circle, and Papadopoulos bullshitting about his connections to the Trump campaign, or at least how important he is in the Trump campaign. So, ideologically, the Trump campaign had signaled they were pro-Russian, or at least not anti-Russian. They wanted to make contacts and advance common interests. They were willing to take dirt from the Russians to help them win, or to burnish a real estate deal. People like Papadopoulos were trying to exploit this interest and to make himself more high profile in the campaign. So he was promising big to everyone that would listen to him. Carter Page was similar. He was another academic type, smart guy who had been working in Russia and had an expertise in the energy sector, and he had contacts. He became a consultant with the Trump campaign because they wanted someone who knew Russia and had some energy expertise. And Page was a Russophile, if that's the way it's pronounced. And there was no evidence that he was an actual Russian agent, but he sincerely believed in advancing Russian-American cooperation and ties. And Jared Kushner had some contacts as well with a Russian real estate developer. My Mueller report document isn't loading right now, so it's hard for me to reference. I'll have to go back and check on Jared what exactly. I think they're just starting with Jared right now around the 120 point page mark, so I'll have more to talk about him later. But I think the Trump campaign developed quickly over a few months in the spring and summer of 2016, and things were happening fast. I don't think Trump actively coordinated with the Russian government, but both sides were sort of groping around in the dark trying to reach out to each other. None of this is shocking. Russia was, as well as China and Iran and Israel and others, could be expected to influence and hack and use any opportunities that arose. And Trump, what's the word for it anyway? The way he behaves, his lack of ethics and morality and legality and propriety and patriotism. Nothing shocks. I mean, this is the way we knew Trump was like that. I'm conflicted as well. I don't believe in perpetual Cold War with Russia or China. I think opportunities to enhance cooperation and trade and decrease the likelihood of conflicts are a good thing, but accepting help from a foreign government to help hack the election is despicable, and I guess it's just hard to prove criminally. All right, so on to page 120 to 160, and we'll see what Jared Kushner has been getting up to.